You prepare for a golf tournament?
Well, I hit balls maybe 20 minutes, putt a little bit, smoke 4 or 5 cigarettes, drink 3 Diet Cokes, and go to the first tee. Some days I won't even go to the range.
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It's Monday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to one and all. It's the Daily Puck Drop coming to you live every day at 10 a.m. All right, what do we coming up on the show today? The go-to guy, Jim Moore, will stop on by for a few minutes. We'll talk to Brad Adam coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll get into the Final Four, but not the Final Four you're thinking of. Darnold's contract is out. Cooper Kupp has signed with the Seahawks. Rory and the Masters. If you're degenerates like Jim and I got up early this morning to watch the players because we're idiots, we were going to talk about that as well. And, of course, we wrap up every Daily Punch Up with Hey, What the Puck? Again, welcome in, streaming the show live on YouTube, also on Twitter. Just search Puck Sports, also the Puck Sports mobile app. If you don't have the mobile app, you can listen to the show live in your car, on your phone. Download it from the iOS store, also the Android store there as well. For the later crowd, if you miss it live, you can always find everything up on YouTube. Just search Puck Sports there. You can also listen to it on the podcast page, your favorite podcast platforms, Apple and Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And, of course, everything, always one-stop shop up at pucksports.com. The Daily Puck Drop, we are broadcasting from the Puck Sports studios. It's built by Limbeck Lumber Contractors. They got free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects, largest stock moldings in the Northwest, old school service because they've been doing it since 1930. Give Limbeck Lumber a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them online, limbacklumber.com. Follow the social media platforms as well. Twitter, Instagram, Puck Sports, TikTok, Puck_sports. And again, everything up at pucksports.com. Ladies and gentlemen, not one but two sponsors brings you the handsome Jim Moore every single week, and it's brought to you by...
Hey, Puck, I'm brought to you by A Clean Streak, acleanstreak.com, serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. Brian Turner and his crew doing a terrific job. If you need pressure washing, window washing, gutter and roof cleaning, they'll do it all for you. So just give them a call for a free estimate, 360-395-5748, or visit acleanstreak.com. Brian's a great guy, and you're going to love the service they have. You can check out the 5-star reviews at acleanstreak.com. Also brought to you by The Home Course. The Home Course is awesome just by itself. We all know that. If you're a golfer, you know how good that course is. They've got their stay and play package going on, though, through May 31st. You stay one night at a local hotel there in DuPont. You get 2 free rounds of golf with a cart. So check it out at thehomecourse.com/stay. That's thehomecourse.com/stay.
Is there any water? I can't remember the home course. Is there any water at all? There's none, right? There's no water, so there's no chance that J.J. Spawn can put his ball in the water like he did early this morning at TPC Sawgrass, the Players' Championship, to lose the Players' Championship. I assume we both were up early watching the 3-hole playoff and J.J. Spawn. And it begs the question, why would anybody in their right mind put money on J.J. Spawn? Do you know anyone that would do that?
No, I really don't. You're looking at one of the dumbasses who did, honestly. And when I look back on it, I'm going, they did the tail of the tape like two boxers.
Yeah.
And here's Rory on the one side. He's won 27 tournaments. Yeah. And then here's JJ, he's won one. And I think it was like the Mexico Open or the John Deere Classic or something.
Doesn't count.
And then he was only plus 130. And I'm kind of going, Well, shit, that's not much of an underdog, but I wanted Spawn to win, so I bet with my heart. I love Rory, but because of the fantasy pool I'm in, a bunch of guys had Rory this week and nobody had Spawn. And so I had my reasons, but then other people on Twitter were pointing out, God, Jim, you're a dumbass, man. It's St. Patrick. Well, I didn't need anybody to tell me that. I know when it comes to gambling, I am. St. Patrick's Day, an Irishman, Rory McIlroy, and I bet
Yeah, he's
against
got a
him.
pretty good chance. Pretty good chance to win
And
it.
then get this. So I put $20 on Spawn before it started, and
Oh.
then you saw the 16th hole. He bogeyed and or he parred and
You
and Rory
chased
birdied.
it? Were you doing live in-game
Well,
betting?
okay, so then when Spawn fell behind by one, his
Oh,
odds went up
God.
to plus 360. And I thought, what the hell? He's only down one. I'll put another 10 on him to win 36. His next shot, he put it in the water.
You can't. We talked about live betting. You can't get into live betting, and certainly not live betting on golf.
Well, didn't he look? He had the classic look of a guy who was nervous and out of sorts.
I'm telling you, I think you can look back to yesterday's press conference after the round. And the way Todd Lewis and his new hairstyle, asking him, well, you know, what are your odds tomorrow? Well, no one's going to give me a chance. I'm going to give myself a chance. Everyone's pulling for Rory. When he answered that question, I'm like, he's out. He doesn't stand a chance.
Really? Why would you think that?
Because the way he answered it. If you go back, I don't know if you saw it or not, but the way he answered the question, and he just did not exude a bunch of confidence in himself.
No, but if I'm him, I'm thinking, okay, Rory's going to be a big favorite. What do I have to lose here? I'll just go out there and play free.
And I agree with you, but there just wasn't a lot of like confidence in how he articulated it yesterday. Now, to be fair, it's easier to say now, after the.
Well, I didn't like it when he peeked into Rory's bag on the 17th tee.
Never a good idea. No, and then you change what club. And if we're boring you people with golf talk, wait till the Masters in next month. It's going to get even worse. But yeah, he peeked into his bag and saw that Rory hit a 9, and then he hit an 8, and then he flew it over the green. And how many shots do you think it would take you from that distance to put it on the green?
One. What? No, okay. I saw, they had the drone.
If you had 10 shots, how many do you think you'd put on the green?
Okay, first of all, I'll tell you what I think I would have shot on the entire course, because I saw they did the drone thing where they showed you every hole and they went through all 18. And with the traps and water and rough everywhere, and if I played, 7,200 yards at my age, I mean,
130.
At best, I can hit it 240 now, but usually it's around 220 or 230. I would have shot 120 or more. Probably 100. You're right. Probably maybe closer to 140.
That course is diabolical, man. God.
What's with the 150-yard long traps? I've never seen that before.
It's just that's the old Pete Dye course. So listen, 10 balls on 17 the island green. How many are you putting on the green?
So no wind, just
whatever. No wind.
It's 130-yard shot. I like to think I'd put at least 5 or 6 on the green. The Coeur d'Alene, the island hole there.
Yeah,
I'm generally successful there, and it's longer than 130.
Yeah, but a much bigger green. It's massive.
Well, okay.
The island green is massive.
Well, how many would you put on in 10? Don't you think you'd go 5 or 6?
No, I'd maybe 1 or 2.
But you're a better golfer than I am.
Doesn't matter. You stand up there and trying to hit that thing. You look how small it looks when you stand on that tee box. It looks tiny. I would skip it in the water every time. It'd be awful.
It's interesting, though. That hole is really interesting because when you're a professional, you should hit it 10 out of 10 times. I don't care what the wind is doing.
Sure.
And so they're mental midgets like us. Just like People Magazine. Hey, look, they're just like us. They shop at grocery stores.
Hey, they push their own shopping cart. You don't say. You know what's harder? You know what was harder was the drop area shot.
Oh, I know.
that was awful. I would have skipped into the water on that one easily.
And he butchered that one too. Yeah. I mean, you got to have a little bit of feel with that shot. And no, it's strange to me though that professional golfers can't hit that every time. It just is.
Well, it's because it's not as easy. Well, because I think in the when there's no one there and it's not a Sunday, sure, but like when there's people watching you. And there's wind and all that. There's a lot of pressure. miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
I mean,
I've just been on. What's the opposite of a heater when you're betting? God, I can't pick a winner in college basketball. I can't do anything right. Since I hit Joe Highsmith, so I was up to 800 my account. I'm down to 400 now, and It's not like I'm betting $100 a game. I'm betting 10 here, 10 there, 20
so
here,
don't
20 there.
so don't listen to you when you give your tournament picks, because everybody's tuned in today to hear everyone's hey, who's in your Final Four?
Well, okay, you want to hear what I'm looking forward to seeing the
Hey,
most?
hey,
And
hey,
and,
hey,
and
hey, what's up? Hey, what do you got in the Final Four? Oh, yeah, you went. Way to go, chalk. I don't know, man. Don't you usually take the teams that are good? Way to go, chalk. No shit.
yeah.
God. No,
Well,
I'm gonna. No, no. Here's the
SI.com.
deal.
Huh?
Super Bowl predictions. Here's who I'm gonna take. Give me the Titans to win the whole thing. Jesus.
No, but we've talked about this before. You don't really want to hear about what someone else has in their bracket, do you? Or
Oh, hey, I got Arizona going to the Sweet 16. I have them losing in the Elite Eight, Bill.
yeah.
No, I don't care who you have in your bracket.
And it's kind of cool when you pick an upset in the first round and it comes in, but all told, I mean, you score more points later in the bracket than you do early. So it
Right.
doesn't it's not like it helps you that much, but it gives you that sense of pride like, oh God, I had Wofford to win.
I
And
really was on it today. God,
yeah,
I nailed it.
High Point. God, there's
High
schools in
Point.
there I've never even heard of.
Hey, did you see? Let's go from a gambling perspective. Did you see where Colorado State is a favorite over Memphis?
Yeah, and what is that, a 10 over a 7?
12 over us 5.
12 over a 5.
And they're a favorite.
Well, good for them, man. And
That's awesome.
They've won 10 in a row. I saw part of that Memphis UAB game
Okay.
yesterday. Memphis wasn't all that impressive. And we're, as future Pac-12 guys, aren't we
Yeah.
pulling for Colorado State in that game?
Sure. Yeah. Pulling for all those guys. Let's go. Anybody
Yeah.
that's going to be associated with the new Pac-12, absolutely. I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah.
in. Absolutely. How about the numbers on this thing? 14 SEC teams made it. There's 16 in the conference, man.
Well, I heard somebody
Their
who
entire
follows it-
conference made it.
somebody who follows it pretty closely said it was a really good year in the SEC,
Oh.
but was it that good?
Well, for sure it was a good. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't a good year. I'm just saying that I think it was a good year. Listen. I'm not honestly. I didn't follow college basketball all that well. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and here's my bracketology. I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not. There's not a commentary on was it all that good. That's amazing. It's amazing. Think about this. They got, what's the number I read this morning? 21 of the 37 at-large bids are from two conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten. So it's a matter, they'll just pull away at some point, and they're going to do, they're going to do this in football, but then they'll try to do it in basketball. Like, we're going to have our own tournament, and it's just going to be us. Piss off everyone else.
How about North Carolina getting in?
Oh,
in
that's the
the
best.
play-in game.
That's the
and the
best.
head of the committee's the North Carolina AD.
And of course, his name's Bubba. Of course it is.
Well, and North Carolina was, I read something like quad 1 wins, 1-12 this year.
They were so they were 1-12 in quad 1 wins. They had no business. I mean, if you listen to these bracketologists, the Lenardis and who's the guy at CBS? Why am I blanking on his name?
Like Seth Davis or something?
No. CBSSports.com. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Anyways, if you read or had listened to these guys leading up, they weren't even on the bubble. No one was.
No, they weren't even in the last 4 out.
They
category.
weren't even in the discussion until Bubba Cunningham, who runs. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. And I make fun of like the college football playoff committee every year. Why in the world do they allow ADs to sit in on this stuff and determine who gets to play in the national championship? Because that's what they're doing. And you go, well, they recuse themselves and they leave the room. They run. You don't think they're talking to these guys outside the room and trying to convince them, hey, it's good for business If we get North Carolina in, it's a blue blood. People are going to tune in. Of course they are. It's a conflict of interest.
If you gave what North Carolina, no, I'm kind of talking out my ass here, but I'm assuming this is the case. I'm assuming this is the case.
Yeah.
North Carolina, by most people's standards, don't deserve to be there. If you took their whole season and you credited that with some other school, just some whatever school you want to name, there's no way that school would have made it. But they're North Carolina. They probably, I didn't watch the whole show, but I'm assuming they didn't have the Tar Heels on TV.
One did.
I mean, so like the Tar Heel kids were probably at home going, God, we suck, man. We're not very good and we don't deserve to be there. And then all of a sudden they get a call from their coach or whatever, or they're watching the show going, Jesus Christ, we made it? Really?
Probably were thinking, hey, we're going to be in one of these secondary third tournaments like the Cougs got invited to, whatever this made-up tournament that they're in now. I mean, they probably thought
don't make fun of that tournament. They're playing in Vegas, and we get to watch Nate Calmese just run all over the place.
He's not going to be on the team.
He's not going to play.
We're not going to have anybody on the team. The portal opens up a week before the tournament. They're going to have two players. It's going to be. I'm going to tell you who's going to be playing. It's going to be Parker Garrett, and some other the equipment manager is going to be playing. I'll bet you $1,000. Nate, hold on. I'll bet you $1,000. Nate Calmese isn't on. Well, maybe let me backtrack on the $1,000. Hold on. Whatever you like to bet, except for $1,000.
Really?
Nate Calmese is not playing in that game.
You think Watts will play, Isaiah, or
no? I think Watts is out.
Neither Watts.
Oh, Speed. We'll get to, and we're going to get to Slick Watson in a moment, please, when we can.
But Eric Strupp and Price will play. They're seniors.
Yeah, they'll play. Sure.
Okay. Parker Garrett's. We always have to say this. I mean, God bless him,
kid,
but
great kid. Yeah.
But he shouldn't be on the floor.
He's a great kid, though. Great kid.
He shouldn't be on the floor.
But Jim, he's a great kid. Does everything right. Just a great kid.
He's not good. He's just not good.
I love how we're going to have this tournament with a freaking stupid portal opens up 1 week before. Yeah, they won't even have a team. It'd be like a bowl game. It'd be awful.
Did you see the Virginia Tech guys quote the player?
No.
Did you see that on Twitter?
No.
I think it was Virginia Tech, but I'm bringing it up because it just makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
You got to find it somewhere.
Okay.
You know how the kids today, when you're shitty or you suck, you say you're ass.
Yeah.
This guy, apparently in the preseason, Virginia Tech was picked to finish 14th or 15th in their conference, and they ended up having a win in the tournament. And so the kid was interviewed after the game, and he goes, "Hey man, everybody thought we were ass. I mean, we were still kind of ass, but we weren't that bad."
Kind of.
It was just.
I like a guy that's like, we were kind of ass, but whatever.
I just thought, and every time Mikey and Stevie, oh, he's ass or they're ass or whatever, and then I just saw this kid on TV being interviewed talking about his own team being, not as ass as everybody thought they were going to be. Check it out. It's pretty funny.
Okay, I'm in. I
didn't deliver it very well, but it's funnier when you see the kid talking about it.
But here were the other quad one when they talk about those quad one wins, and for we're going to bore you to detail what that means. They're just quality wins, all right, on home and on the road. So they were 1-12 in those ones, right? Just terrible. By the way, they got obliterated by Clemson. By the way, Clemson, they got lost by 20. Boise State, who got left out, beat that same Clemson team by I think almost 20. And Boise State's on the outside looking, and they were one of the teams that could have gotten in. Anyway, Indiana and Miles Rice, they were 4-13 in quad one wins. They're
in. They're in because they're Indiana.
No, Indiana's not in.
Oh, Indiana's not in?
They were left out.
Make it?
No. These are the teams that did not get in with a better resume. West Virginia, 6-10 in quad one wins. They're out. Ohio State was 6-11, and they're out. The guy, and I'm watching it yesterday when they bring him up, on the camera. I'm watching it later. And right now, he can't talk about North Carolina. This is the guy that is the head of the selection committee. And he can't talk about the one most biggest controversial topic of the day because he's the AD of the school. So they got to bring his interpreter with him who has to speak for him. I mean, what a joke. And he was shit-faced. I'm convinced Bubba Cunningham was on his 13th gin and tea.
Why was he?
Oh, I
Was
just
he?
look at the picture. He's just, very droopy and looked like,
Right.
a little red face. And I think he'd had a couple G&Ts. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging. I'm just saying he was drunk
Well, he's probably up all night though.
and drinking.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that
But,
one.
but
So don't they play San Diego State, don't they?
yes, in the play-in game. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm torn on that one because I want the future Pac-12
Yeah, take the
member
Aztecs.
to win.
Let's go.
But from a gambling perspective, don't you think that maybe you're getting line value betting on the Tar Heels because everybody's saying all this shit today about them?
Well, because right? Because they'll make a run now to the Sweet 16, and they'll be like, "See, we knew all along." No,
Yeah.
I agree with Gary Parrish said this last night on their show. It doesn't. Even if they go on a run, they win a couple games, it's still wrong what happened, and I agree with that. They both can be right. They can make a run and beat some teams, but it's still wrong what happened.
But you're motivated. You're super motivated if you're them, aren't you? Just to show you belong.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
of
right.
course you
so
are.
Put the Tar Heels in on your first four.
I'm gonna go Pac-12. I'm going Aztecs. Give me the Aztecs. I like the matchup in Seattle that you're gonna get in the second round. A little Oregon and Arizona. That's a nice little second round matchup, hopefully. And it's so weird. I think Tim Booth pointed this out, and he's right. You're gonna have a Big Ten team and a Big 12 team playing in a Big Ten city in Seattle.
I hate that. I do. Don't you?
Well, of course. I think everybody does.
Even the teams that are in it. I mean, Arizona's probably okay with being in the Big 12. The travel's not bad there.
Yeah.
But I don't think Oregon fans and Husky fans, basketball, football, I don't think they're excited about the Big Ten. Maybe they will be in time, but
yeah,
it's messed up. There's some great games in Seattle. There's some really good games.
Oregon and Liberty's Friday at 7:10. Arizona and Akron's at 4:35 on Friday. Memphis and Colorado State. We talked about that. That was a great one. That's 11 a.m. on Friday, and then Maryland and Grand Canyon. The fake unit. Who went to did Stevie go to Grand Canyon for a year?
Stevie went for a semester.
Yeah, and then decided maybe it's not for me. Little too thumpy, huh?
I'll give you one little anecdote. He had his girlfriend in his room past midnight, and you get a demerit for that.
Yeah. That's not the school I want to be a part of.
No,
I want to party.
He called us. God, he just called us. He goes, "Hey, Mom and Dad,
I'm out.
I know there's palm trees here and swimming pools and the sun shines every day, but I want to go to Pullman." I was like, "Yes."
I want to get out of Grand Canyon University. Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. I love that it's back. This is always, I used to love going to these, especially when I never went to the ones when they're Key Arena. I went to one at Key Arena, but I always remember as a kid going to the Tacoma Dome, going to the King Dome. So I love it. I'm glad it's back. It's fun. It's got blast. I love going in there. You go in there in the morning, you spend all day there and watch games. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I was excited. I wasn't aware of that for the longest time, and then I heard about it a week or two ago, and the matchups are terrific, really.
Yeah.
I think I heard this correctly, and maybe I'm really late to the party here, but Maryland, the way they can score, and they're calling themselves the Crab Five. That's kind of
the
cool.
Crab Five.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the Crab Five. So I have it on the rundown, Final Four, and people think, oh God, we want to hear your Final Four. No, I don't want to hear anybody's Final Four. But somebody asked me, mocking me, who do you have as your 4 number 1 seeds, right? So I thought we'd have fun with this one, and you can take this in any direction you want, Jim Moore, any direction. So this person on Twitter asked me, Mike, shout out to Mike, Monosmith. Mike, I think that's how you pronounce your name. He goes, who do you have as your 4 number 1 seeds? And I said, Mike, great question. Here are my 4 number 1 seeds. No particular order, by the way. I can put them in order if you'd like. Would you like me to put them for like the number 1 to number 4?
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay, you would like that?
Yes, I would like that.
Number 1 seed for me is pizza. My second number 1 seed are Naps. The third overall seed is going to be peanut butter, and the fourth overall seed is going to be bourbon. So bourbon, peanut butter, pizza, Naps. Those are my 4 top seeds.
Okay.
That's a pretty good top 4, don't you think? It's a pretty good 4 seed.
But pizza's number 1?
God, I love pizza. God, I love it.
And specifically?
Cheese. Like a 12-year-old.
Cheese.
Like a 12-year-old kid.
That's it.
that
And,
puts
and do you
ketchup
get
on his hot
do you
dog.
get extra cheese?
No, just regular cheese.
Regular cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
So peanut butter, pizza, naps, bourbon. Take it any way we'd like. What do you have?
God.
Huh? What do you got? I can tell. I know what one of yours is going to be. Dogs, Cadillac margarita.
Yeah, I've been going to the skinny margarita lately,
Oh,
but
sure you have. Yeah, you
I
got
miss having that Grand Marnier float. That kind of adds to it.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. I had one Friday night. It was wonderful.
And Kathy's always got Grand Marnier in the cupboard, so yeah, I would. Yeah, but
She
but
puts it in her morning coffee, just like
God,
we've always grown to
you're
love
right
Kathy.
though, Puck. I would probably put dogs as my top
Okay,
seed.
you got dogs as your top seed. Give me 2, 3, and 4. What do you got?
Top seed. I was just sitting here thinking that
Yeah.
I might have to go with Thai food as
Okay.
kind of a stretch for a one seed, but
Yeah.
I'm
No.
always pretty happy when I go to a Thai place and I came
Sure.
back and I get the garlic chicken and I got to have the pad see ew and
Oh.
got to have that coconut soup. What do they call that? Tom kha.
Yeah. Sure.
I
Sure.
got to have that. Oh,
So we got dogs. We got Thai food. Give me a 3 and a 4. What
just
do you got?
gambling in general. I mean, and more specifically, I always talk about how impossible it is to pick golf winners, but I just love betting on golf.
Sure.
I do. I do. I
Okay.
flat out love betting on golf, and even like losing this week. I don't. Where are they coming up?
Valspar, I think.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll be betting on more guys this week. So I need one more number 1 seed.
Yeah.
God. Well, okay, tequila for me.
Just tequila.
Like usually when I look in the cabinet, I've got the Jack Daniels and I get the Lunazol tequila. It's 100% agave.
Sure.
And I kind of tend to reach for the tequila more than I do the Jack Daniels.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
So,
that's good. Yeah, good.
God, but then you get toward the bottom of the bottle. Like last night, I had a margarita. I made my own little, orange juice and whatever, some lime in there. But do you ever get to the bottom of the bottle and you got this dilemma, right? Because you have about, well, people can't see me if they're listening to this, but you have like an inch left on the bottom of alcohol in there, and you have that dilemma of, God, should I make this one I just poured a really strong one, or save what I have left for a semi-weak one
I
later
default
on?
to the strong one. Just
Do you
get
default
go all
every
in
time?
every time.
No, I know, but then when you do that and default, and then you take that first sip, you're like going, "Ooh, man!"
And I generally, if I do
Puts hair on your
default,
chest.
I
Yeah.
default to that and go, probably the wrong choice. Probably the wrong choice. But yeah,
But you at least you'll stop and think for a second anyway.
No, well, like
about
whether
what to
do
do.
it. No. I just say, yeah. Why what am I keeping this for? And I just go for it. But then I get a couple sips and I'm like, it's a little rough.
Well, I went the other way last night, and so I've got about half an inch to an inch in the bottle right now. Yeah.
I'm surprised that, and I agree with John here. John said, why didn't you go with a Ben and Jerry's as a top seed?
Oh God, how did I leave ice cream out?
Well, sorry, Bubba Cunningham.
Okay,
Charles has put in his top 4 seeds: coffee, tacos, beach, beer. That's a good strong 4. I like that.
That's a really good.
That's a good strong 4.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the ice cream, you're right. I should put that ahead of Thai food. I mean, Thai food can be a 2 or even a 3 seed.
Okay.
But no, like last night. Okay, and I'm sure you've done this. I don't even know why. I'm going to ask you. Have you ever done this, Puck?
Hold on, but Big Mike says CR coffee, motorcycling, and classic rock. Isn't that only 3? What's C? I don't know. You need another one.
Yeah, but maybe he favors 3 over 4. I don't know.
Oh no,
But,
it's 4 seeds.
So the kids were here for the week, and so we got their favorite ice cream, cookies and cream for Mikey, and then that's for Stevie, and then cookie dough for Stevie. And so we got the Umpqua brand, a half gallon, and then for whatever reason they decided not to polish off the half gallons while they were here, and so they were gone. And so last night I'm going, damn, I'm going to check out the freezer, and there's there's some left in each one of them.
Nice little surprise.
But did I have to finish off both of them?
Yes, you did.
I started with the cookie dough, and it was probably about a pint that was left in there. and probably half a pint in the other one. I mean, I should have just stopped at a pint. But I just kept thinking, man, I'll start my diet again tomorrow because it's a Sunday.
Yeah, what are you
How often do
giving
we
up?
all do that?
What are you giving up this month?
Well, sugar.
Oh, well, yeah, great. I like who is this? I like this top 4 seeds from Sunbob, pizza, coffee, ice cream, Pornhub.
Hey, Pornhub's in my bracket.
Pornhub is probably the top number 2 seed, right?
God, Pornhub.
Oh,
it's free,
Lord.
and it's free.
Oh,
You knew that, right?
yeah. Well, it's free until they get into your phone and computer and start fishing around for information. Sure, it's free, Jim.
And I forgot to mention that it wasn't enough just to have the ice cream. I noticed it in the pantry that there were some Girl Scout cookies.
And you put the Girl Scout cookies in. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, I kind of crunched them up. I didn't have them whole. Yeah.
Hey, this sugar-free March is off to a strong start.
Yeah, I did better with the non-alcohol January. I can tell you that much. But I'm gonna get back on the horse again today.
Nick is asking, basically, what are we bracketing again? It's just what are your top 4 seeds, Nick, on anything? It can be anything you want.
Okay.
Your top 4 seeds. Jim went with dogs, Thai food, gambling, tequila, and my top 4 seeds are naps, pizza, peanut butter, bourbon. Just the top. Come on, that's just your top 4 seeds.
I'll tell you. The guy who said Pornhub, I mean, that's your champion.
Because at least he's honest, right? Hey, look at Joel trying to butter up to us. Joel says pizza, cookies, beach, daily puck drop. Joel, you're not going to win anything, so stop kissing her ass.
No, maybe he means that.
I know. Maybe
he had you as the 4th one, though, so it's not like you're the overall number.
Well, it doesn't have to be in a particular order if you don't win. Goldie says dogs, weed, coffee, sports. All right.
Is coffee really worthy of being a number 1?
Well, I think for some, I enjoy a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, I do too. But I mean, it would be like a 4 seed on my bracket.
It wouldn't be my top 4.
Yeah, it'd be okay though. It's on there. I mean, they're in the field. They're not like North Carolina.
No, they're not like North Carolina. Doug checks in and says dogs again. A lot of dogs. Golf. We forgot golf. Ribeye and a good red wine. There you go. There's Doug. Nice. That works.
Yeah. Golf is up there pretty high for us.
Yeah. All right. I thought it'd be a fun little exercise. I just wanted to ask you when Mike asked me that yesterday. I was like, he's being a smart ass. So I'm like, I'm going to, we'll take it in a different direction.
Yeah.
So these are my top 4 seeds. So then lots happened over the weekend. So we'll get to Cooper Kupp here in just a quick second. The Darnold contract. I don't have it on the rundown, but you know this player better than I do. I never got to watch Slick Watts play. I knew Slick Watts as, kind of Seattle basketball ambassador. I knew Slick through Donald, and I knew Slick through all of his appearances at Sonics games, especially when the Sonics left. And I know him of the kind of the old guy with that big smile and always happy and always with that headband on. So I never got a chance to see him as a basketball player, but I know guys have, from your era who got to see him and grew up watching him play. He was like your guys' idol.
Yeah, I was saddened to hear that news on Saturday with Donald talking about his dad and, what an honor it was to have him as his pops. And it was really sad. I mean, I go back to when I was a junior, I think it was, at Redmond High School, and we go to Sonics games a lot. And we'd all heard about this kid from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, and the bald head and the headband and that whole thing. But that first year, as I recall, he didn't play much. And so we would go to the games and we'd think, man, I hope Slick plays tonight. And so we would hope the Sonics would either be up by 20, or it wasn't worst case if they were down by 20, because that meant Slick was going to play. And every time Slick was on the court, it was just energy. I mean, he was everywhere. And he wasn't that great of a player then. And what I appreciate about him too was what he turned himself into. He led the league, I think, the following year or 2 years after that, in steals and assists. He didn't have a good shot, but he developed a good 3-point shot. he was just something else. And then everybody always talks about, yeah, he was a great player, but a better person. It really fits with Slick Watts, though. And anybody who ever crossed paths with him, like you or anyone, he always had time for you, always had time for you, and always had that smile, always seemed upbeat. I got to know him a little bit because I was covering the Husky team when his son Donald was playing there. And so, of course, Slick was at every game. And every once in a while, he'd be like, "Hey, go-to guy, how you doing, go-to guy? It's good to see you, go-to guy. What's going on?" I mean, it was just like, "Hey, Slick, you're just the greatest," and then after he had the stroke, you didn't hear too much about him. And I hesitated every time I saw Donald tweet something out. I was like, "God, please have good news about your dad." And I was on a plane coming back from Arizona to Bend on Saturday when I got the news, and I just was like, I was crushed by it. Anybody who came in contact with Slick Watts loved him. I mean, just absolutely loved the guy. And what a self-made guy coming from a little town in Mississippi. And then we all adopted him as one of Seattle's own.
Undrafted, just he had I think his college coach knew Bill Russell, I think is how the story goes, and then ended up just getting a tryout, and then ended up making the team. Last guy to make the team, and yeah, you're right.
I think Russell was even quoted as saying, "I don't even know why I kept him."
Yeah,
because he really wasn't that talented, but he just the heart, the hustle. And then,
to be the first player, I think to be the first player to lead the league in steals and assists. I mean, that's impressive.
No, if you can check out some old film, and it's probably grainy and everything, but God, he was so much fun to watch, and he was just an energizer out there.
We got a tribute coming up to him for Hey, What the Puck. There's a video the NBA did honoring him. So yeah, it's just I want to go back to something. You didn't know much about him when you guys were in high school. What was the lore of Slick Watts? Why did you guys want to go and watch him play?
Well, it was just
what was it about?
You didn't really see many bald-headed guys back then that were that age.
Okay.
I mean, if you were bald back then, it was because, you were bald. You got older and you lost your hair and all that. And then here's Slick. He's out there embracing the whole bald thing. And then not too many guys were wearing headbands either. You saw wristbands.
And then it was crooked. That was, I think, the other cool thing about it. He didn't wear it perfectly. He had it on a tilt.
Well, and then it was his style of play too. That's why. I mean, we really would go hoping that he would play, and then you'd be disappointed. You were happy the Sonics won, but you'd leave the Coliseum and you'd think, God, I wish we could have seen Slick play tonight, though. Yeah,
and you know what's amazing?
It's fun to watch.
Yeah. And what's amazing about him, when you think about his impact on this city, on this basketball community, right? It's not like he spent his whole career. He spent four or 5 years here.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
He didn't have like this long run. Remember, he leaves right before they go to the back-to-back finals, but he just made this place like a lot of athletes do, right? Wherever they first start. But I feel like Seattle always kind of has more than maybe other cities, it feels like. That this is where he wanted to, raise his family. So he came back here to raise his family. And, we've gotten to know Donald over the years, and Donald's just a tremendous guy and just a great kid. And yeah, it's just,
then Donald's suffering a stroke himself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, just what that family has gone through. And then, the Cougs, when Isaiah in our last game, I forget who we even played in the tournament, but we played USF.
Yes, San Francisco.
And I just remember looking at him on the court, and I thought, God, that kid doesn't want to be out there. He's probably got an NIL deal working out somewhere else, and he just doesn't. He had a terrible game. But David Riley had said something earlier in the week that, there was some family stuff going on. And so clearly that was what was going on with Isaiah Watts, thinking about his grandfather and the failing health and
just basketball royalty in this town.
Yeah, for sure. Oh. For sure. And Donald Watts, I mean, it was just, part of the fun of covering the Huskies back then, of course, I'd go to the games and hope they lose most of the time, but I would try and write it straight when I was, an objective reporter covering the team. But part of the fun was going because I'd see Slick every game. You know, go to Heck Ed, and there's Slick. He was right there, front row all the time.
And then you'd see
and then Donald's doing the same thing in Pullman, which is really cool. You know, he's been to all the games to watch his son play.
What was really cool there years and years ago, Owen, the old vampire, must have been, I don't know, it is really 6 or 7 or something. And Donald, and he still does it to this day, the Watts Academy. He does all these basketball camps. And even we signed Owen up for these basketball camps, and great. And I remember going to one of them. It was over at what was that? What's that private school over on Lake Washington? It's blanking on the name of it. But anyways, it's at that gym. And,
it's upstairs? It's like the second or third floor, the gym.
Yeah, maybe. God, what is
kind
of
over by
right
Burger
on the? It's right
by Burgermaster.
Yeah, it's right on the lake though. God, I'm blanking on it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I brought it up. It's not really part of the story. We're in the gym, and in that gym, you know, for their camp that day, it's Donald who's running it. There's Slick, and there's a young high schooler, Isaiah. I mean, 3 generations of just great basketball minds, basketball players, and the great, just so good. Slick Watts is so good with kids. It was just amazing. He was a big kid himself, you know, rolling around there.
Yeah, I don't think Slick ever truly grew up.
No,
but
not at all.
No, and then he ran a cleaning service too. Do you remember that?
I don't know.
He had that going on. I was on a different podcast last night over on the other side of the sound, and they were talking about the cleaning service coming. And
what podcast was that? Is that
I think
Rooftop
it was the Outlaw podcast or something like that.
The Outlaw podcast?
It's
this violates your contract with Puck Sports and Clean Streak and the home course, right?
Well, you know, the way I look at it, though, it's publicity. It's promoting your podcast.
Is it really? How much time did you spend promoting it?
I don't think I brought it up at all. Well, I think they generally talk about politics, and one of the guys had a MAGA hat on, and
Oh, gee, why were you on this?
Well, and at one point, you know, I said, God, I go, Paul, you're a dick, man. I go, but I know what a dick is because I could be a dick too. And he goes, you're calling me a dick because I'm wearing this hat? And I go, no, you're just a dick with the hat or without it. Yeah, I was saying it playfully, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people can be dicks and you still like him. I like this guy. He was cool.
The Outlaw podcast, huh?
Yeah. Well, to give you an idea, they had Brandy Cruz as a guest last week. So it's out of Bremerton. So anyway, I don't know why they had me. I mean, the guy.
Why did they have you on?
Well, because I'm really fucking important.
What did you talk about? Did you talk about sports or politics?
We talked about sports.
Okay.
Like how long could I talk about politics?
I don't know. I don't know why they would want to be
talked
talking
for an hour though. These guys were really fun though. They were fun.
They were
in a bar over there in.
How do you think? How do you think these tariffs are going to affect the Mariners' season this year, Jim? Your thoughts?
Jim, your thoughts on Canada being the 51st state?
Jim, what if we get Canada in state? How do you think that affects the Seahawks in 2025?
No, it was cool. We didn't get into any of that.
Hey, Jim, if we get Canada, do you think Jed Fish will take the Argonauts job?
Okay, I will. That's pretty good. Yeah. I will say this, you know, like you usually give me a half-assed introduction. I mean, this guy was like, "Oh God, a legend in Seattle sports." We're welcoming in Jim Moore. You know, when you become a legend, you become a legend when you've just been around a long time.
Yeah, but that's a lie. The guy's lying, though.
No, he was. Well, in his heart of hearts, he was thinking that, you know, that this is pretty cool to have me as a guest, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm just." Just hanging out, but whatever. Anyway, why did I bring that up? I don't know why I brought that up.
Why? Because you
know I love you and I promote you all the time.
The Outlaw podcast. Yeah. Well, don't. I'm good.
You know what? You're giving me shit about.
I'm good, but you need to explain to Brian at Clean Streak and then also the folks at home at the home course why you're doing other shows.
Okay, well, you're phasing me out anyway. You got like the
no. Stop.
You got the
Stop talking. Stop. Don't mention that. Do not mention the stop.
Don't mention the garage?
Stop. God, no. I thought you were going to mention the other thing.
Paywall or something?
No, I thought you were going to mention the other show that's starting. Stop.
No, I'm not. No, I wasn't going to mention that.
Well, I didn't know where you were going with that.
You know me well enough. I mean, I do have a filter.
No, you don't.
Okay. All right.
I'm not phasing you out. First of all,
I heard you, you wise ass. I mean, you know, somebody texted me, or I saw it on Twitter. It's like, hey, you know, they're calling you a beta male, you know, or Collabro called you a beta male or whatever. I'm like,
Oh,
well,
he did.
that's cool because I am.
I didn't
And
know
I didn't
that
know what the
story
context
though.
was. And so then I thought, well, I'll listen to
Yeah.
the first 5 minutes with Graz and see what that was all about.
How do
It was
you feel?
entertaining. I love the Graz. Like it. And then you go, oh, you're not filling in, Dave. You're actually replacing him. And
Well,
I
at
knew
least
you were
he's
just.
he's. Here's the thing with Graz. I can probably consistently count on him to be here most days.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. What? You know, you just won that argument because when somebody just says fuck you, they've run out of comebacks.
Right.
Yeah. So
Graz was great. He was I had to pivot real quick. Excuse me. I forgot you weren't going to be on Friday. You told me. And then, I mean, I'll give Egan shit for this one. Egan at like 8 a.m. is like, oh, I got to leave early for Spokane for the hoops tournament. I'm like, hey, Egan, you couldn't have told me a few days ago you were going to be on?
Yeah.
So Egan was out. So then I said, you know what? Well, I said, well, we'll pivot real fast. We'll get the Graz on. And he was great. He was wonderful. It was great to have him on. And then Bobby Condota made his debut. Bobby C. We tried to have Bob on last year during the draft show. It was a disaster. Bob is not the best with technology. Bob would acknowledge that he's not the best with technology, but we made it work. We taped him, so we got Bob, and he was fabulous. Just a wealth of info on your Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, well, I bet you the whole show was great because we all love the Graz and we all love Bob Condota. Bob Condota, for what he does year in, year out, and trying to cover that team, it's a 24/7 job, and he's in his 60s. And Graz, we all know that he actually is a legend in sports talk radio in this town. What he and Gas put together, Graz with Gas, I mean, come on, that's the best all-time show that's ever been.
I agree. The what was I going to say? What was I going to say about the Graz?
Well, I mean, Danny David Moore was kind of close, but you know,
it was a close second. Did you know the story though? Did you know that story that Graz told? Did you know that he was hired to replace you?
I did know that, and I'll tell you how I found out real quick. I don't want to bore the listeners.
No, bore us away, please.
Okay. Well, Owen Murphy was the program director at the time at 710, and I was working on a temporary basis with Collabro. And I'd heard something about Graz coming over to our station, but I didn't know in what capacity he was going to be working in. And so Owen had me meet him for breakfast at 13 Coins. I told Kathy before I left, I go, yeah, they're probably going to be talking about contract details. I think things have been going pretty well with Kevin. And
how long had you and Collabro? You guys started when 710 launched. It was you and Collabro, correct? Right away.
Well, early on, I was only on once a week because I think Wyman came on for an hour, like on Tuesday. I was an hour on Wednesday. Claire Farnsworth might have been an hour with Kevin. So there was like Kevin. It was Kevin's show, but then he would have people come in periodically,
like KC and guests.
Yeah, and then Jessamine was the producer, and then one thing led to another where I got more time with Kevin, and you know, we were starting to have a good rapport and all that kind of stuff. So I thought maybe I was going to get the job, and instead I show up for breakfast. We put the order in, and Owen looked at me and he just goes, "Hey, I want to let you know that we're hiring Graz to work with Kevin, and you know that your services will no longer be needed or whatever, and we want you to continue to work until Graz's, what's that thing called? The no compete." He had a no compete clause. He goes, "We want you to continue until Graz can take over for you. Does that sound okay to you?" And I looked at him and I'm going, God, I feel like I should maybe take my toys and go home. Would you do that if you were me, Owen? And he goes, "Well, I hope you don't." But anyway, so I hung around, and then Graz talked about that dinner that Kevin had with the higher ups at 710.
Right.
And Kevin, just out of the blue, after apparently agreeing to work with Graz, decided he didn't want to work with Graz, that he thought two alphas wouldn't work on the same show. You know, kind of a backhanded compliment being a beta male. I guess, you know, he preferred to work with me, and he said that he wanted to work with me. And you know how you talk about luck? I mean, you like to think you're talented and skillful, and that's why you get a job. It's right place at the right time and having some luck too. I mean, that really played into it, because if Kevin hadn't done that, I would have never gotten into sports radio.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what I would have been doing. But yeah, Graz is right the way he told that story. And can you imagine sitting there having Kevin, just all of a sudden over martinis or whatever, going, "Yeah, you know what, Dave? I don't want to work. I like you, but I don't want to work with you." And so they worked out the midday show with Graz, and then
Yeah, but
went
it
from
was
there.
good though. But he had a good rapport with you. It was a good move there by Calabro. It was a good
I
move.
guess, but I don't know why he didn't say that initially. Why he let it
I
go
don't
that
know. You
far.
probably feel pressure. I don't know. Probably there's got to be some pressure from the higher ups to do it. I mean, I agree. I mean, they would not have worked well together. It would have been bad. And Calabro
You don't
and
think
Graz,
so?
no, it would have been bad. It would not have been good. It's
God,
too
but
much. They're two alpha males. It just wouldn't have. It wouldn't have worked.
Graz, though, I think he appreciates the way you do your show and your podcast, because you like doing it without planning it. I mean, you plan it out, but you don't plan it out.
Sure, yeah.
Which is terrific. And Graz, the few times I worked with him,
That's the way he does it.
he'd have a rundown that the producer would give him, and he would just look at me. He goes, "Well, Jim, if all goes well, we won't even be looking at this sheet." So,
But that's the way it should be. I just cannot stand scripted, media, scripted, whatever it is, however you do it.
Well, there's different ways to do it.
Sure, there's different ways to do it, but
Yeah.
there's a model where it's like everything is written out and pre-programmed, and pre-show meetings where you go over what you're going to discuss, and what's the fun in that? I don't want to know what someone's going to say, nor do I really want to know what the topics really are.
Yeah, no, I've never come into a show thinking I'm going to say this today or that
Yeah.
today. Sure. I don't do that. But again, there's probably some listeners out there that are going, Jesus Christ, man! I see this lineup: Darnold contract, Cooper Kupp, Rory Masters, and they've spent 52 minutes and haven't gotten to any of that, which I'm fine with.
First of all, that's not true. We've gotten to the Final Four. We've done our Final Four. You
Which
went with
wasn't
dogs.
sports related at all.
That was the trick. I said,
God, I
because
love
no
that
one
Pornhub guy.
no one cares about your Final Four picks, but they do care about the guy that went with dogs, beer, and Pornhub, and they do care about your top four seeds: dogs, Thai food, gambling, tequila, and mine being bourbon, naps, pizza, and peanut butter. That's more entertaining than, oh, I got Florida, Duke, whoever, and then chalk. Well, no shit. I'm going to take all top four seeds anyways. I don't care.
How about Florida with a Coug on the team?
I know. You know what I was thinking about that? This was weeks ago, and I was watching college basketball one weekend. You know what kind of fucking team they would have had this year? Had Kyle Smith, I don't know, had Kyle Smith still been here, and then all of his guys don't leave. Do you just realize what they have on their front line? First of all, their front line is Muhammad Gay, Ruben Chinyelu, who's on Florida, Deshaun Jackson, who's on Iowa State. That's their front line. That's the biggest front line in college basketball. And your point guard is Miles Rice. Your two guard is, I don't know, it's Yakimovsky.
Well, yeah, if you were able to keep Andres too, that wasn't a good move for him going to Colorado. Although he had a really good game Saturday.
I think people accept how good of a coach Kyle Smith was. I don't think you realize how good of a coach he was. I don't think people truly, Cougar fans, understand the recruiter he was. That guy, that front line alone, that's an Elite Eight front line.
Well, remember, he had FA too.
Oh, and then FA would have been, FA would have been maybe a senior this year. Maybe he would have already been gone. But
yeah, I mean, you can't make that case. Well, you just did, but you can't really legitimately make that case now. But back in the day, you could count on guys staying 2 or 3 years.
Sure. But I'm watching, I don't know if you watch much Iowa State basketball, but you go look how big Deshaun Jackson is now. He is a monster. And so is Chinyelu. He's a monster.
Well, Jackson was good as a freshman.
Yeah. He put on like 20, 30 pounds. I mean, they are huge.
Yeah, I get it and I don't get it, especially in the case of Jackson and Miles Rice. Miles Rice having cancer and whatever the Cougs and everybody did to help him with that. And yet, Indiana offered him more money and he probably, had mixed feelings about that. Yeah. And Deshaun Jackson had a heart attack or something at a practice, And then, somebody saved his life supposedly, and then, well, I'm still going to go to Iowa State. I don't
Maybe
know.
he had his I don't know. I don't know what their reasons are. So, but the point is just how good of a team he had. Like,
And you root for these Cougs on other teams? You root for Chinyelu, or do you still look at him as like, you defector, I hope you lose?
He didn't bother me. Nor did Miles Rice bother me. So I would have rooted for Miles Rice. I like Miles Rice.
Yeah.
And Chinyelu, he was great. I love that kid.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch him.
It's just, well, at least we made a postseason tournament, though.
Yeah, at least we did. Some made up one that they just came up with. I don't even know what the stupid thing is called, but sure, it's another
It's in
thing.
Vegas, so if you're on the team and you're thinking, hey, I get to play, a few more games with my buddies.
So are you excited? Really excited about the Cooper Kupp contract? We haven't seen details. I just texted Garofolo any numbers yet. There's no numbers out. It's not what the reality is of $45 million over 3 years. It's going to be small. My guess is it's not going to be much money. But it better not be much money. I'll tell you that. Because that dude is on the decline. And I know everyone is excited in this town about him. This guy's missed 18 games in 3 years with basically the same injury every time. I mean, everyone's expecting him to have this bounce back.
Why do you always take the negative side of things?
It's not always the negative, man. It's just the reality of it. He's on the decline.
Why can't, why don't you
You're not getting Cooper Kupp of.
Why don't you set that shit aside and just go like everybody else is going? Like,
no.
God, this is awesome, man. A Yakima kid is coming to play for the Seahawks, the team he rooted for growing up, and he went to Eastern Washington, and he was 5'4" and $110 as a ninth grader, and look at him now, what he's accomplished. Went to Eastern Washington because the Cougs and the Huskies didn't want him, and boy, what a story!
It's a great story, but.
Shit.
Okay, but can we just take off the Seahawks glasses for a second and stop being just a homer? The guy's 3 straight years. Look how many games he's missed.
Well, okay, I don't follow it that closely, the salaries, for receivers.
Well, it's not going to be much.
If you don't think DK Metcalf is $30 million, I don't think Cooper Kupp's worth $15 million a year. Not at this point.
It's not going to be $15 million.
Okay, but that's what it is on the surface.
I know, but it's guaranteed money. It's just like the Sam Darnold. The Sam Darnold deal just gets better and better. The details finally coming out on that. It's a 1-year deal. And people flipped out. It's a 1-year deal. That's a gold mine, what they're paying this guy. For 1 year?
Yeah.
Smart what they did with him. So smart. I mean, it's a 1-year, $37 million deal. That's it. That's the only amount of money that's guaranteed for Darnold.
Okay, forget the Kupp contract. How about him on the field? What if you had to project what we're going to see out of the 17 games? How many will he play in, and what will his numbers be? Catches, yards, touchdowns.
I say he plays in 10 games. He has 52 catches for 580 yards.
So that's it?
Yeah.
Will he get to 5 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's declined every year. Every year he's at a decline. 75,
so
12.
Would you rather them gotten a rookie wide receiver in the draft and hope that he'd be the number 2?
I think they're no doubt gonna draft the guy. And again, I'm not gonna freak out about the money because listen, it's not 15. Let's wait and see, but I'm gonna be stunned if it's a lot of money guaranteed. It's certainly not $45 million over 3 years.
Okay, what's the Lawrence contract? Did you feel the same way about that?
No, I like that deal.
Do you?
Yeah. Like that a lot.
But he was injured last year. He's 33 or
one injury. It's not injuries for 3 straight years with the same ankle and hamstring. Okay. I mean, it's not. You're not getting 2021 Cooper Kupp, and I think everyone has this like vision that we're getting Cooper Kupp of 2021. You're not.
But the salary reflects that, right? I mean, they're gonna come out with something where you look at Darnold and you go, God, 3 years, $100 million, Jesus. But now you understand it. Probably be the same thing with Kupp once we get more of the numbers. Yeah,
absolutely. I just don't. My expectations are not that high. Like he's going to come in and all of a sudden get back to being 1,000-yard wide receiver. I hope to be wrong. It'd be great to be wrong. Then if he's wrong, then he stayed healthy. I mean, I think the storyline of him, finishing his career in a Seahawks uniform is cool, and the fact that he grew up here and it was, he was overlooked by the, all the schools in the state, and he made himself a hell of a player, God, it makes me feel old. I remember calling his high school basketball games when he was a guard at Davis High School, and his team was in the tournament.
Can you break down how Clint Kubiak is going to use 2 slot guys and which one will be outside and how the zone concept will work with that?
Yeah, I got to get back to you on that one. I'm just still doing my deep dive of the all 22 of Kubiak's system. So let me get back to you next week on that.
Okay, you do that.
All right, we got to run. I'm not going to see you Wednesday or Friday. We are off. We're only doing 2 shows this week, today and tomorrow. Then I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, taking the Vampire down to spring training for a little baseball.
Well, you just go ahead and do that because I'm going to have the daily gym drop in your place and find a host who knows shit about sports, okay?
Will you get the guys on from the Outlaws and you guys can talk more tariffs and,
and we're mega hats
and basically just making up and destroying the Constitution? Can you guys maybe just get all that covered?
I'll work on that, Buck.
Okay, appreciate it. All right, we'll see you. We'll see you next week. It'll be opening week, right? Of baseball.
Yeah, next Thursday.
God, that's great. Love it. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to
Sounds
you next week.
Buck. Go Cougs, man.
Go Cougs. There you go. There he is. Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by A Clean Streak. Also brought to you by the Home Course. And, of course, you can find everything up on pucksports.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. All right, let's talk a little baseball with a Monday regular. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Brad Adam from Root Sports. His weekly appearance is brought to you by John Howie Steak. You can follow Brad on all the social media platforms. He loves to be active on social media, a real Brad Adam. And, again, a new feature he's starting this year is Ask Brad after 2 things. After when the lineup comes out, and then also after the game. Right.
Your thoughts, what Dan Wilson should have done differently, better? I'm always welcome to the fans. Hey, I got a couple things. Can I riff a little bit here?
Yeah.
I love following Jim, by the way.
Yeah, who doesn't?
He's a treasure. I mean, I love that guy.
Because the expectations aren't raised that high for you now.
They're like,
once he leaves.
Anybody after him is going to be fine. So that kind of helps me.
Yeah.
Happy St. Patty's Day. I see the green hat. Nicely done.
Of course.
Nicely done.
You as well.
Yeah, thank you. In regard to Cooper Kupp, here's a thought. I think that for the past 3 years, he and John Schneider have hatched this plan where he is going to fake an injury and sit out a little bit for the Rams and make it look like he's not healthy.
Oh.
Seahawks going to sign him, and he's going to come back to the 2021 Triple Crown winning Cooper Kupp. Davis and Eastern Washington High that we both covered in high school and college. He is that Cooper Kupp.
Who plays, who contributes more to the team this year? Ooh. Cooper Kupp or Mitch Haniger?
Oh, God, I love Hanny too. Man,
yeah, you do. Everybody loves Haniger. Who contributes more?
Probably, Cooper, because I'm saying he's 100% healthy.
Okay, so you think Cooper Kupp will have more of an impact on the team this year than Mitch Haniger?
What are they saying about Mitch? What have you heard? What's the latest?
He hasn't played. He's not non-existent.
Okay.
I mean, what did Divish said? What did Divish's last tweet was? I mean, they are very secretive about it. No one is either not asked enough questions about it or they're keeping it tight-lipped. I don't know if they're going to do something with him, but Divish the other day when people were like, what's going on with him?
Yeah, where's Mitch?
He's been dealing with some discomfort in his left shoulder.
Okay.
That's it.
That sounds right.
Do you know anything?
I do.
And?
He's dealing with that discomfort in his left shoulder.
How bad is it?
I obviously don't know. I'm not there or a doctor. I hope it's not bad. I know he hopes it's not bad, and Dan hopes it's not bad. I don't know the extent. It is a shame, though. I mean, the deal was to get him some DH days, mostly to try to keep him healthy, try to get a bounce back from him. And that could still happen. I just don't know the severity of the injury at all.
Does this feel? Do we dare say career?
I wouldn't go that far yet. If this does turn out to be something serious, maybe you think that along those lines, this is the last year of his deal. But that's getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Let's just kind of hopefully wait and see what happens.
The reaction from most people is gonna be this, and I know we always got to do the qualifier. He's a great guy. People are gonna be like, "Well, color me shocked he's injured."
I know, right? Which is too bad because nobody works harder. Nobody. I mean, they call him like a robot, Terminator type guy, right? Because he's just so regimented, like down to the minute. It's like Ichiro, right? Down to the minute. Pre-game, he's here. He does this. He works out. Nobody works harder on their body. Nobody is in better shape. And it's just kind of a shame that he's had some fluke injuries, some legit injuries, and just never been able to stay healthy for like 2-3 years in a row. He'll have like a pop year, when he was like an all-star and had like the 30 plus homers, 39 homers a couple of years ago. But he just can't stay healthy enough to sustain that, which is too bad. Because he is such a good guy and he's so well liked in the clubhouse. And I thought it was great bringing him back. It just hasn't quite worked out, but there's, we're still hoping for everything for Mitch because he is definitely one of the good guys.
When do you think we get an update on that? When do you think we learn more about his status?
It's got to be this week, right? I mean, now that people are starting to realize like, hey, where's Mitch Haniger? He hadn't played in a while, and then they'll start asking Dan. I mean, or maybe if they see Mitch, they'll ask him. I mean, they got to start figuring some things out. And, fairly soon, well, let's see. Not now. I mean, you still got about 8 games left in spring. I mean, you still have some time, though. But, I mean, Rowdy Tellis sure made another, push for the job yesterday, right?
3 hits, had a home run, had another home run, right? Had almost 2 in that game.
Yep, and that's a guy, left-handed bat off the bench or DH, guy who can play first.
And all of us
Raley's
who are
in the outfield.
and all of us who are a little heavy would like to see someone who looks like us
right?
on the team.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a little bit of a spirit animal.
Exactly. A little soft spot for Rowdy, but he's done really well this camp.
Yeah.
Second, still kind of a question mark.
Is it a question mark? It really feels to me like Ryan Bliss is going to be the starting second baseman, that they like more just being able to bounce
around, which I think is right. But it depends, right? I mean, Bliss has got to hit. If he doesn't, then Moore's got to play there. They got to try somebody else, or maybe Master Buney maybe gets a shot. I think he'll probably make the team as the last guy. I think.
Okay,
but
they got a lot of guys. They do have a lot of Mark McLemores.
They do. A lot of versatility is good, right?
The team. I mean, and I know that's a good thing, but sometimes maybe you can have too many Mark McLemores and not enough, A-Rods and Griffies.
Yeah, guys that can play every day. Right. I want those guys that you don't have to look and see, oh, wait, who's pitching? I shouldn't probably play him against a lefty. I want to have guys you just put them in the lineup.
And they
don't
come
worry
to the
about
park and they know where they're at.
Right.
I'm playing.
We need more of those guys.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they certainly don't have enough of those guys at all.
Right.
Here's what I watched a little bit and then watched the highlights of the prospects game on Friday.
Okay.
Can we just have all of them play for the
Are they ready?
Big League Club? I don't fucking care if they're ready. But I'll tell you what. That was more exciting than any game I watched last year from a Mariners offense.
Yeah,
I don't
got some
care
fun
if they're
guys.
not ready. Just put them in.
Yeah, they've got some fun guys with a lot of potential, right?
It's not, and again, I'm just being a smartass, but
I know
it's not just that they all, and not all of them are going to hit, and everyone is intelligent enough to understand that. It's how they look, though. They look like a solid, built baseball player,
right?
Which they don't, athletic and fast and strong. I mean,
we need more of those too.
Yeah, I want all of those.
Hey, it'll be fun on Sunday. They're having the it's not the Fan Fest anymore. It's like opening week at T-Mobile Park on Sunday, right? And I'm going to be there doing the dugout dialogue. Doing Q&A with some of the players. We got some legends. Jay Buhner will be in the house, which will be fun.
Okay.
Tom Wilhelmsen, the bartender.
Yeah.
An RRS.
Legend?
Available
when everyone else said
Love
no?
him, though. James Paxton. So that'll be fun, too.
What is he up to? Well,
he's still in Arizona, and he is helping with the Mariners. This is his second year. I saw him when I was down in Peoria.
He's
helping, coaching, mainly the bullpen guys, just kind of out, just doing whatever he can to help out, do any anything, basically. I mean, I
Okay.
think that his goal is to be on a major league staff, pitching coach, bullpen coach, something like that. So
Okay.
he's still himself. I mean, he is
Oh, he
is
was a
such
good
a
one. He's a
gem.
beauty.
The
Just a beauty.
bartender. Yeah. So those guys will be there, and also some of the prospects. I get Emerson. I get Cole Young. I get Lazaro Montes. I get the guy who I can't pronounce. Their first round pick, the pitcher.
Girangelo?
Is it Girangelo? Thank you.
I'm going with that.
He was.
I mean,
he looked pretty good, didn't he? Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
The
Mainly
fact
right-handed.
is that he can go both.
Yeah.
Switch it, and you're like, you watch him from the left side, and I get his right side's his best side, but then you watch him from the left, and you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, well, that's not even his best side. It's his right side.
How does that happen? I can't wait to ask him. Like, at what point did he
it
just
was his dad
start throwing both?
I remember correctly from the draft.
Right.
He is, I think, a natural left-hander.
Okay.
And God, if I butcher this, I apologize.
It's all right. I'll ask him.
Dad was teaching him like to play shortstop, and was like, "You can't play shortstop you can't play shortstop if you're a lefty." So he goes, "Okay, I'll learn how to throw right."
Wow.
I think that's the story.
Wow.
But if
That's
it's
pretty
not,
impressive.
that's a pretty good story. You should bring it.
I'm going to
up
go with that.
See if it sticks.
Yeah.
What if he goes, "That's not it at all"?
That's not it. I'll say, "Hey kids, let me tell you a little something about this guy."
Hey, I heard this on this.
Is that right? And
Terrible
he's like,
podcast.
No, that's not right. No.
Hey,
speaking of pitching, did I read our buddy Joey Gallo is going to become a pitcher now?
I saw the headline.
If you can't hit, just be a pitcher.
Transitioning to a pitcher. Good for him.
Everybody's who knows, right? Everybody's
whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. So that'll be fun on Sunday. Yeah.
That was that kind of caught me off. I'm like, really?
Will you be there, or are you going to be in Peoria on Sunday?
I am only in. Me and the Vampire do a quick trip. Monday, Wednesday morning, and out Friday morning. Real
gotcha.
Quick.
All right.
And so we had to find cheap airfare, so that was the cheap airfare.
And did you?
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, real cheap airfare.
Because it's not cheap.
Hit that Wednesday game at 1:00. Thursday, I think we catch the Padres.
Nice.
The Mariners aren't playing.
The Vetter Cup, baby.
And then Friday, they got a split squad game. So I don't know either.
Okay.
Wherever the players go, the better players.
Gotcha.
They're playing in Kansas at the Royals facility.
Surprise. Okay.
At home. Which Surprise a good stadium?
Yeah. Nice.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe
absolutely.
Go to the Royals game. So
that's fun. It's a good
time,
time, isn't it?
Watch a little baseball.
Yeah. Hope it's good weather for you.
Well,
they've had some bad weather. Ugh. Yeah. No good at all. Speaking of bad weather, how about at the Players? You watch a little bit today, my friend?
I watched the Players. Yeah, I was up early.
How about Rory on 16? Just drive iron, birdie.
Stupid.
Game's over.
Stupid.
I mean, stupid.
How about Spawn looking in? I think that's cheating. I don't think you should be able to look at the other guy's bag and see what he's playing.
Oh, I didn't see that. What happened?
Spawn was checking out the club when Rory took it out. I mean, I know it's not cheating, but he was like, "Oh, 9 iron. Okay, I'll hit an 8 into the water.
I'm hitting 7. Yeah, you're 9.
Yeah. Over the green. So yeah, we watched it, but
yeah.
Can he win it? Can he win the whole thing?
No.
Can he win the Masters? No, he can't win the Masters at all.
No. I don't think so. Do you?
I don't trust him. 18. He's tied for the lead. He puts it into the trees. It just does. I know it. Everybody.
Putting is so hard there. He just can't quite putt well enough for 4 days. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I want to be wrong.
I do too.
Can I be wrong?
That's the one swing that I would want. Like the swing.
Oh.
You know what I mean? If I could have anybody swing, probably maybe Tiger.
Not Jim Furyk, huh?
Maybe not Jim Furyk. Although, hey, successful career.
58, 59 for you. Maybe a Hideki with the 5-second pause at the top.
Couldn't do that. Who else has got some funky
Adam
swings?
Scott. I mean, come on. Adam Scott.
Adam Scott's solid.
It's beautiful.
Tiger, just to kind of feel what it's like.
Just beautiful.
Feel bad for him. Is he going to come back this year?
No. Come on.
But it's less invasive. They've got a new procedure now for those Achilles. He's
damn near 50 and he's getting surgery every year.
I know.
I don't think he's going to be back.
No.
Speaking of going back to the Mariners and the pitching.
We're switching subjects. Okay.
No, that's fine. Were you surprised that they went with Gilbert?
Oh, we talked last week about that.
Yeah,
Glad you
it's
asked.
a good conversation.
No,
Darwin Castillo.
no, I'm not, and I'm glad that Castillo appears to be fine with it. We talked about him being it meant more to him, I think. But then, it's you realize what a big deal it is, though. Like, Logan talking about it, and he's said that when he was growing up, he's a huge fan, and opening day was like a holiday for him. He said that, right? But he's right, because you see all of the best pitchers pitch, and so now he's among all of the best pitchers. So that's really cool for him, and well deserved. I think based off last year and kind of what's happening and where they're going, I think he's definitely the number one guy on the staff, and it's great that they recognize that, and it'll be fun. It doesn't. And then I joke with Pete Woodworth, the pitching coach. It's like, you just pull a name out of a hat. Is that your opening day starter? Does it matter?
You could with
not
this
really. Yeah. We had the conversation last year at the end of the season. It's like, hey, do you have a rotation, or would you like to be able to, if you're going to the playoffs, kind of rest a guy or skip a guy? He's like, no, it doesn't matter to me. I just put Kirby out there. Woo, it doesn't matter to me. And then the two guys that aren't starting in that short series would come out of the pen. It's like, that'd be awesome to see Bryce Miller just come out of the pen.
It's a great problem to have. It's too bad
awesome.
We'll never be able to see it.
No, hey, come on. I like this year's chances. I feel good about this year. I told you, man. Different feel around the clubhouse. Guys are. I feel.
I'll believe you. Okay,
some bounce back years. I feel good.
Wilson's
Bullpen's
got
looking
the
healthy,
magic. He's
good.
sprinkling all the good vibes around.
You got Edgar. You got the guys. I think I'm excited.
Okay,
I'm excited.
I'll get there. I'm excited.
You will.
Too.
I think that's what will happen. I think.
Don't want my heart broken again,
there.
Brad. It's been broken so many years, and I'm just tired of crying.
I know it.
My baseball tears into another pint of ice cream.
But this year will be better.
Please.
Vetter Cup.
The Vetter
Division title. Don't you love the Vetter Cup?
Let me ask you something. In all seriousness, with how they operate at times, did it starts next year, or has it started now?
It'll start this year.
Okay, so it's
tiebreakers
when they
and
play.
everything.
It's when they play in the regular season.
Padres, 6 games. Yep.
Okay.
And if they're tied, they've got some tiebreakers, run differential.
Okay. So okay, I guess I didn't read it carefully.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just for spring training. So this is for the.
Oh no, this is. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And Eddie's designing a trophy.
All right.
Guitar, something. Yeah.
So would you be shocked if this organization would hang a banner for this?
Yes, I would. Next to the.
You would be shocked?
I'd be shocked. Come on.
Oh.
Next to the 2001.
Yeah, I
AL West. And then the 2025
All right, so welcome to the start
Cup.
of the 26th season. Before we get started, let's cue it up. Let's roll it out. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Vetter Cup champions. And they just comes down. Yeah,
I hope
it.
Yeah.
Why
I
not
do hope,
put it up there?
Yeah. Well, maybe in time it will really grow as something really substantial. But first year, maybe not. I do hope that Eddie's around and goes at least like one game, and we could like talk to him about it.
Well, don't you think he throws out the first pitch when they first play?
That'd be kind
I
of
would
fun,
assume
right?
he does.
Yeah, I don't know what their schedule is this summer. I don't know. I don't think they're on tour, but yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm sure he throws out the first pitch. He'll have He'll have some type of connection to it. I've heard people wonder. Well, I don't understand it. What's the? He grew up in San Diego, moved to Seattle. That's the connection.
Grew up in Chicago.
No. But he was born
huge Cubs fan.
But he was born. I think he was. But he spent.
I think he's a Chicago guy. Huge Cubs fan. And then he went to San Diego.
Okay, maybe he went to.
And that's when he got the tape, and he wrote the 3 songs that became.
But didn't he spend a
alive.
good amount of time in San Diego?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where he got into music, and he had bands and stuff. And then he got the tape from Jeff Ament and Stone.
Look at you. You
and
know,
wrote
you know,
Alive,
you know all your history of
Footsteps.
this. All your history of this. Why are you?
And then
so
he came up, and they became Pearl Jam.
That's right. Why are you so confident in them this year? What's got you so
in the
confident?
Mariners?
Yeah.
I think that the offense can't be worse.
I do enjoy that's your first thing. Listen, it can't be worse.
Can't be worse. Okay. And they were 1 game out last 2 years, and their offense was bad.
Okay.
Really bad. So it can't be worse. Pitching, I think guys are going to take a step even forward. Logan's going to continue to improve. Okay. Kirby's got to get healthy. He'll be fine. I think Miller and Wu are the 2 guys that are going to have a full load, a full season and take another step. I hope Castillo's going to be good. I think the bullpen is healthier than it has been last year or two. Knock on wood with those guys.
Okay.
And like I said, I think Dan has brought something that a feeling
They seem more relaxed. Maybe
relaxed.
Is it more relaxed?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the word
Yes.
out of camp, that it's
Yeah.
not as stressful, that it's a more relaxed kind of baseball environment rather than just
Exactly.
kind of, let's say, D2 numbers and all that kind of
Right.
stuff, and let's
Yeah.
just let's roll the ball
And-
out, let's play.
Yeah, and it's bringing guys back, I think make a big difference. Guys have stayed away for years, and now
Let me ask you something. Let me jump in on that
Oh.
one. Randy Johnson's been kind of aloof from the organization, correct?
absolutely.
Okay,
I haven't
don't
seen
know
him in
what has
years.
led to that. I mean, well, obviously
Dan
it was
Wilson.
messy. It was no. It was a messy divorce with
Oh.
the trade.
Oh, right.
But I don't know if anything has happened after that. If
I
there
think
was some
that's-
bad blood,
I don't think so. I think that's just him. I think he's
Okay.
just kind of a cranky guy. I mean, nobody has a lot of nice things to say about him.
No, but he
so-
adores Dan Wilson,
Right.
and so that was great to see him in
So-
camp. I mean, God,
Absolutely.
I
I haven't
was
seen
seeing those
him.
pictures of those pitchers. I mean, they're looking at
How
him
cool
like,
is
oh my-
that?
he's a god to them.
Yeah. Right. See, that makes a difference. And have Buhner around. Ichiro's always around, but Cammy's there. Franklin Gutierrez is around as well. I think that it just kind of matters. Connects these guys to the past, and when you have like Hall of Famers like they do with Edgar, obviously being there, it just I don't know. It just kind of has. It's just like a good feeling about the history and the past, the present, and these guys want to, live up to their idols type of thing,
Sure.
with a Randy Johnson type of thing. It's cool to have even like Helmsen, who keeps it loose. Danny
Yeah.
Farquhar, former pitcher, he's on
Yeah.
the staff. It's just guys that good to be around. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
and the good vibes, and it's just I think that Dan has done a great job, and that was one of the things he wanted to do: reach out and bring the old guys back. And I think we'll see that more and more throughout the year, which I think is going to be really cool to see. Yeah.
We'll see, though. I mean, listen, you can have all the good vibes. This.
I
I'm
know.
telling you a thing.
Yep.
You can have all the good vibes and everything that Wilson brings. At the end of the day, if a guy can't hit a curveball, can't hit a fastball, or Ryan Bliss can't do anything, then it doesn't matter what the vibes are. Good vibes you can get from winning and
Exactly.
producing on the field. And we'll just wait and see if if their plan works or if it backfires on them. And again, the pitching. I mean, I think the pitching is going to be strong, but again, it's you see with Kirby, he's going to be out for a month plus. What can they sustain another injury? What if something else happens? Then all this strength of your team now starts to dwindle away, and you don't have an offense that can pick them up. So,
Right.
I think there's just a lot of skepticism around the team, and I think
And I
for a
get
lot of
it.
fans, probably a lot of hurt feelings. I think for the last couple of years because they just kind of felt this was it. Like let's go. Let's not waste what is a real generational talent with that pitching staff. That's kind of what Justin Turner alluded to. God, next week when we do this, my friend, opening
Man,
week.
That's right.
It's already here.
Ooh.
We gotta land
about
you on a
that?
specific day. We gotta move you. We gotta move you around. We gotta.
I
things
know.
To do.
Check the
You're-
schedule. Yeah.
You're gonna be a part of our. We'll put together probably a special opening day show.
Ooh.
I'll
okay.
be here. We'll all be excited.
Hey, are you
Great.
going at all? That opening
For
series? You
opening
going?
day.
Are you going?
Maybe. Yeah, but
Maybe.
It depends.
A's,
Baseball.
big draw. The A's.
Well, sure. I mean, who
Big
doesn't
draw.
like opening day? God,
I think they're just called the A's. I think.
they're not. Yes, right.
Right?
Just the A's.
Just
I
the
think. I don't
A's.
think they're using Sacramento,
Nope.
Las Vegas, or obviously not Oakland anymore.
What a mess.
Well, when we get going, we'll get going for real next week. It's here. It's upon us. This is to me is the greatest time of year in sports.
March
March
Madness,
Madness.
baby. Have you thought about it?
baseball.
Have you done your bracket? You thought about it yet?
No, see, I don't
I
care
haven't
about
thought
your
about
Final Four. Jim and I did this exercise earlier. I'll ask you the same question.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you
Oh,
because no one cares about your
Oh, I
Final
know.
Four picks.
Right.
Okay. So we did our own Final Four, but we did it with a twist.
oh.
It can be anything you want. So my Final Four, my top 4 seeds are this: bourbon, naps,
Kentucky.
pizza, and peanut butter.
Naps.
Now, Jim's top 4 seeds are dogs, Thai food, gambling,
Yeah.
tequila. Brad, Adam, Root Sports.
That's fantastic.
What are your yeah, it's better than I got Louisville and Florida and UConn.
Yeah.
What are your top 4
Top
seeds?
4. Wow. That
It
is.
can be anything. You take this in any direction you'd like.
Jeez. That is.
Yeah. One guy did golf.
Golf. Yeah, for sure.
He did golf, I think beer, baseball, and Pornhub.
That's a pretty good day right there.
That's not a bad day. I don't think it was exactly that. I got to actually find out what exactly it was. But that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good.
It is really good.
Okay. Do you have golf in there?
Yeah.
Is golf in your top 4? Your top 4 seeds?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to give me 3 more.
Like I would say the beach.
Okay, we got a lot of beach on that.
Kind of like how what it all entails. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Everything. Right. Golf, beach. Scotty says, I'll just as you think about it, Scotty said golf, strippers, Slurpees, and Mexican food.
Again, not a bad day in San Diego, baby.
That is.
I'm gonna go instead of strippers. I'm gonna go family.
Oh, jeez, just low hanging fruit.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You're to your list.
What would be the 4th one? That's a good one, man.
You want it? I mean, you want to say one, but you can't do it. You got to protect an image.
The wife's here. The wife's listening.
Yeah. That's why you went with family. Golf, beach, family, and come on. There's got to be what's one more.
I know. I'm trying to think. God, I'm not very interesting. Apparently, I don't really do much, Puck.
How about that place you go have pancakes like every month?
Oh, Chase Corral.
Yeah,
me and Felix. Oh, you know what? Hey, you listening?
How about San Diego?
Well, the San Diego. It's part of the beaches. Here's one. You ready?
Yeah.
Sea Star. Is John Howie listening?
John Howie's listening. Yeah, there you go.
Wife's favorite restaurant, Sea Star.
It's great. Scallops, they're wonderful.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, so your top 4 seeds: golf, beach, family, and Sea Star.
There you go.
All right.
There you
next
go.
week. Next week we get underway with the season.
I'm excited. We'll have a little more clarity, maybe on the roster spots, depending on when we talk. Maybe not. Though.
Okay. Well, I would
be
assume
awesome.
so. I would hope.
Hey,
so.
have a great trip down there. You're going to see Divish? Is he down there?
Going to see Divish, but he'll probably say, "Hey, my family's in town."
Remember, make sure you, remember and tell him how hurt I was. I was going to buy all night long too, and he didn't show.
I know.
Okay. All right, brother.
And you're a heavy drinker. People don't know that about you. You are open to close.
1.5.
That was Brad's nickname in college. Open to close. Is open to close coming? Yeah, he is. He's coming.
Yeah,
he
is. Of course he is. And he's staying.
All right, Brad.
We'll
see you next week.
Thanks, man.
There he is. Brad Adam, weekly with us, talking Mariners baseball from Root Sports, all brought to you by John Howie Steak, also part of the John Howie Steak, whiskey by John Howie, also Sea Star, as we just mentioned there with Brad Adam. Of course, Brad's appearances will be up on the full Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. Please subscribe when you're there, and also the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. Before we get on out of here, we got Hey What the Puck, which is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. It is locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages do affect your properties, whether it's residential or commercial. They're going to take care of you. It's a one-stop shop, 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. We talked about this a little bit earlier with Jim Moore about the passing of Slick Watts. NBA TV and the NBA media did a fantastic tribute and a look at Slick Watts' career, and I thought we would play it for you here on Hey What the Puck.
Here comes Slick Watts. Oh, this crowd is crazy. Slick Watts gets his hands on the ball and they go nutty.
Donald Earl Watts, better known as Slick, was one of the most popular players to ever play for the Seattle Supersonics.
Here's Watts on a change of base drive, shooting one of the base. It goes!
Undrafted out of college, Watts was signed by Seattle in 1973 after impressing head coach Bill Russell at a tryout.
The last day of camp, I was the last man standing. Free agent, no money, 37 cents in my pocket. But I was the last one standing.
Slick Watts quickly became a fan favorite because of his high-energy style and signature look. A shaved head and a crooked headband.
I call Slick Watts the hardest working guy in basketball. He continued to impress us with his drive and his great defensive savvy.
In 1976, Watts was named to the All-Defensive team while becoming the first player ever to lead the league in steals and assists.
I had a determination. I had a self-belief. I was ready to play. And I enjoy making other people better.
A wonderful tribute there by NBA Media, NBA TV about the passing of Slick Watts. As we mentioned earlier, in that conversation with Jim, I never got a chance to, see him play, obviously before my time. But, when he got older and having got a chance to meet and become friends with Donald and see Slick around the basketball camps that he did with Donald, also with his son Isaiah, when Isaiah was in high school. And every time you saw Slick Watts, just smile was from ear to ear. Such a huge personality and just loved representing not only that organization, but loved representing this city. And again, he didn't spend much. He spent 5 years here but raised his family here. And it meant so much to him to don the green and gold. When you think of basketball royalty in this city, I think the Watts family is it. And it's just it's a loss for this community, a loss for the Watts family. So condolences to them, condolences to everyone who came into contact with Slick Watts. Your life was better having got to rub elbows and speak to him for just a few minutes. So R.I.P. to Slick Watts, one of the best to ever do it. That's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration 1 in North Seattle. Again, locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online, restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. Big thanks to everybody for watching and listening today. Thanks to all our sponsors, as always. Limbeck Lumber, fabulous sponsors. Been with us from day one. Clean Streak, thank you to Brian Turner. Clean Streak Professional Window Cleaning Services. Also, the Home Course. Love the Home Course. Go book your next tee time up at the Home Course there in DuPont. Just a fabulous golf course. Drains well. Perfect to play in the winter. And and a great rate. Affordable. It is the most affordable, best golf course in this state. Also, thanks to Georgetown Brewery. Check out their new tavern beer at your local bar, and of course, at georgetownbeer.com. And as always, big thanks to restoration1.com. Also, big thanks to everyone just watching and listening every single day. Really do appreciate all the support. Today's Daily Puck Drop will be up on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms. Doesn't matter which one it is: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music. Does not matter. And of course, you can find everything up at pucksports.com. Also, when you're at pucksports.com, sign up, become a member of the Puck Sports community, Puck's Posse. For just $5 a month, you support all of the content we do here with the Daily Puck Drop and Puck Sports, and you get added bonus content as well. Full episodes of Ryan Divish every single week covering your Seattle Mariners. You get our 7-part series with Dane Brugler leading up to the NFL Draft. Episode 3 is going to come out later this week. Dane had his kids are fine, but his kids were sick and had kind of a family emergency today, so we did not record today. Hopefully we do it tomorrow and we get it out this week. So look for it, and I will promote it as soon as we record and can push it out. Go visit and sign up today. Just easiest way to do it is simply just go to pucksports.com. All right, that is it for a Monday show. We will talk to you again tomorrow, Tuesday edition. We'll talk more NFL Draft with Danny Kelly from The Ringer, and we haven't talked to him in a couple weeks. John Canzano, the great John Canzano from johncanzano.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!